Hey everybody, and welcome back to the show. Today we're going to sort of make a quick video where we run through a whole bunch of games that I feel are like the must-have Nintendo games. Let's say you're just starting out collecting with the NES. These are the games. I tried to remove all my bias as much as I could, and I feel like these are like the must-haves if you're starting out. So I've arranged a bunch of different categories of games, puzzle games, platformers, beat 'em ups, racing games, etc. And within each one of those, or I should say within most of them, I have like a recommended game and then maybe a budget-friendly alternative, something like that. So let's just run through what I've picked out for you. We might as well start with the most iconic of all games, and that is Super Mario Brothers and Duck Hunt. Actually, this is your OG multi-cart right here. In fact, I have a couple examples. This one is Mario and Duck Hunt if you have the light gun. It's not necessary. What I'm trying to point out here is the Super Mario Brothers game itself. Obviously a must-have. This one also includes world-class track meet. So let's say you happen to have the light gun and the power pad. There's a lot of fun that can be had here with this cartridge. And in addition to that, in the platformer category, none other than Super Mario Bros. 3. So if you can get these two games, for example, you can probably get both of them for, I'm going to say, under $20. Probably $15 if you're lucky. $10, $5 as of the making of this video. Tons and tons of fun to be had with just those two cartridges right there. Definitely must-haves if you're starting out. Let's jump over to the sports category, and I hope we can call this a sports game. It's Mike Tyson's Punch-Out! All of these are sort of iconic games, and this one is no exception. There's also just a regular Punch-Out!, which is a little more budget-friendly, which I don't have. I guess Nintendo lost the rights after some point to put Mike Tyson's name on there. I don't exactly remember the story, but either one of those games, either the regular Punch-Out! Or Mike Tyson's Punch-Out! Is a must-have. That never gets old. And here's your budget-friendly sports alternative that I picked out for you. It's ice hockey. So you can play against the computer, or you can play against a friend, two-player. That is what I've picked out as far as sports titles. Let's jump over to how about racing games? If you like sort of what do we want to call this? Almost first-person perspective, Red Racer. Where you're behind the car? That's super budget-friendly to begin with. This is like a $5 game, I think. Excellent, excellent racing game. If maybe an isometric view is more your style, RC Pro-Am. Both of these are very, very inexpensive games, and they're my two picks for racing games if you're starting out collecting for the system. Now, next, let's talk about beat 'em up games. I've picked a few out for you. Here's the first one. It's River City Ransom, which I talked about in my favorite NES games of all time video. There's tons and tons of depth to this game. There's also a password system so you can pick up where you left off. It has RPG elements where you can level up your characters. It is two-player co-op. It has it all. That is my number one pick for a beat-em-up game on the system. And here is your budget-friendly alternative, Double Dragon 2. Don't have a friend to play with? Double Dragon. Even more budget-friendly, Renegade. Let's see. Okay, shooters. The one that I picked out for you is Life Force. And this is a horizontally scrolling shooter. It actually alternates between horizontally and vertically scrolling stages. And it's made by Konami, so you know the music is excellent. And here's your budget-friendly alternative. One of my top favorite NES games of all time, Star Force. I've talked about it before. I need to do kind of a let's play of it, actually. It's very, very basic, but I still love it nonetheless. It's like a $5 to $7 game, I think. I hope I'm not wrong about that. That is your budget-friendly alternative, and those are your shooter games. Puzzle games real quick. you know it's going to be Tetris, right? There's really no alternative to it. I suppose you can get Dr. Mario, which we have, but I was always partial to Tetris. You can't go wrong with Tetris. Everybody, just like Super Mario Brothers, everybody has to have a copy of Tetris in their collection. Can't go wrong there. And let's talk about your role-playing games. Here we go, Final Fantasy. This is the game that started it all, this major franchise. And you want to be on the lookout for this if you have a gold label on the back. Any Nintendo game with a gold label on the back means you have the ability to save your progress. So not just a password system, but an actual battery backup, which is huge. This one I think is in the $15 range, if I'm not mistaken, maybe $20, I think. And your more budget-friendly alternative, again, gold label so you can save, that's Dragon Warrior. Both of these games are kind of turn-based role-playing games, turn-based, strategy adventure games. And that's what I would pick there as far as your turn-based role-playing game on the Nintendo. Moving over to your run-and-gun shooter games, and there's no other game in the library that stands up to these two. It's Contra and Super C. You can get either one of these and you'd be super happy with them. Contra is slightly more expensive, but I wanted to kind of hold them up side by side to tell you that they're both excellent games. I'm a little bit partial and more nostalgic to Contra, but I love them pretty much equally, and they're both two-player co-op as well, so that's fantastic. Also Konami games, so the music is great. And the last category, I told you it was going to be a short video, your action and adventure game. You had to know this was coming. It's The Legend of Zelda. There's a gold cartridge, there's also a gray cartridge, which is a little bit less expensive. It has the gold label on the back, so you know we can save our progress. That I put in the same category as like a Tetris or a Super Mario Brothers. If you're into these adventure games, this is the must-have game. So there you have it. I hope you enjoyed my initial collector's guide to the Nintendo, and I really appreciate you watching, and we'll see you soon.